Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. How you guys doing? How's it going, Black Collar? Bryson, North Country Forge. Hey, hello, hello. Funny you should say that. Morning, Dog Bones. Eric, how's it going? Um, and to everybody else out there in YouTube land. Uh, Morning, Boar. Um, so I do have a guest today. Hey, Henry. Hey, Shane. Um, I actually uh, sent a carrier pigeon out to north of the wall and got us a wildling to talk to, even though those references are very dated and years old. Speaking of dated and very years old, um, how you doing there, Mr. Steve Schleicher from North Country Forge?
I'm good.
So, morning Keith, morning Bill, Robert, how you doing? Drayson, what's up? Yep, in the call, I have Steven Schleicher from North Country Forge. Affectionately or not so affectionately named called Fuss. And we'll get into that in a bit. Hey, Neil, Wiley.
How do you do that in sign language? How do you do fuss in sign language?
Alex, good morning. Wayne, how's it going? Yep, we're all good. I'm saying hello to the community here. What the G-Jeebers heck is going on here? It's conversations. I have an actual blacksmith here. I mean, look at the beard. He's, obviously a blacksmith. Is you sporting a Drayson's Forge beard band? Is that what that is?
That's one that I made.
Okay.
That's one that I made.
Drayson never made me one.
Drayson never made me one.
Damn you, JT.
Damn you, JT.
Morning, Wayne. So we're here chit-chatting with Mr. Fuss, and he's in his shop. Ethan, good morning. And, in addition to it being a shop, I believe it's also a storefront. Now, I remember when it happened, because he is actually part of the Quad Squad, and in our Voxer chat, and we, make fun of him, talk to him daily. It's he fell on some times and issues, and decided to go all in, and I believe you rent your shop. It's a storefront as well. Like, you literally have a shingle that you hang out.
I run a little shop. Well, it's not really little. It's like, I don't know, about 50 foot long, about 20 foot wide. And then I got one wall in the very front that's a little storefront. Just hang my stuff on. People can come in.
Morning, Paul. Yeah, so it's like it's a working shop that people can come in, see what you have available, and make purchases and watch you work, so to speak.
Absolutely. Get a demo. Learn something. I do lessons.
And you're up in, if I recall, somewhere in upstate New York. Starts with a B, ends with an Oonsville.
Boonville. Yeah, it's we're in the foothills of the Adirondack Mountains. Takes me literally 10-minute drive when I'm in the Adirondack part.
Yeah. The Viking beanie. Yeah, I love that Viking beanie. Morning, Corey. How you doing? Share the stream. Let people know we're alive and chit-chatting. I know that the daylight savings probably really screwed up a lot of people. But we are here. Can't hang around. It's 11 p.m. here, and there's a gas furnace cranking. Cast some brass and cuttlefish. Oh, that'll be cool. Good morning, Curtis. But what'd you drop? Opa!
The kids came in the shop and I knocked
Yeah,
something off the
yeah.
wall.
So in a bit, we'll discuss what made you go for that push to open up a brick and mortar location, um, and how business is doing. You know, like I if you guys haven't if you guys don't know who Steve is, North Country Forge, um, I do believe he's on all sorts of social media. I know he's on Facebook and Instagram, and he does have a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Um,
Facebook.
as a matter of fact, the first video I saw of you, man, was 3 years ago. We were all heading to Quad State, but you couldn't make it, and you did a small little live stream or a small little video wishing us luck and saying hi to us, and like the lightning strike. The lightning
the
in the
lightning in the
background was
background.
like a perfect moment. It was such a cool video. Um,
That
yeah.
scared the hell out of me.
So yeah, like it was such a cool video. But yeah, if you follow, he does some amazing work. When we do little hammer-ins and get-togethers, he usually brings what he's working on to work on it because he's always working. I mean, every project that he picks up is it's either a commission or a practice piece of something that he needs to work on. I've seen this guy do. I think I've seen you work on 4 different andiron fire dogs. Are they called?
Yeah, I did. Well, I did one set of
I thought it was
andirons,
4
but
different.
just
No.
no. I did the torches and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I
I don't get too. I don't have much time to do many videos anymore. I'm in my shop 7 days a week, about 12 to
Yeah.
14 hours a day.
Yeah, that's life. I fear the time that will come where I get so busy that I don't have time to do videos, let alone live streams. I fear that. I mean, it happens here and there where my day job will pick up and I can't take the time to record a video, but it would drive me nuts being in the shop and not being able to set up a camera.
It does suck. I like doing it, but oh my god, I'm in production mode now. I'm trying to make a living out of this, so it's hard to get into a video.
Yeah, I can imagine. Hey Wiley, hey, I saw Shamrock Forge popped in. What up, Sulbert? Morning, Chewy. But yeah, does anybody here have any? We'll get into some viewer or community questions. And hey, Hansi Pants, how you doing? We'll get into some. Hansi is another one that I want to get on the show one of these days. If anybody's got any questions for a Viking wildling, fuss, feel free to ask, and we'll address it. Randy.
I'm not as entertaining as Yam is.
Don't say that, man. You've got like the perfect Cleveland impression.
I think Hans's is a little bit better than mine.
Hans does a great Cleveland.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I do, Hans. A professional. Drayson's got a question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Sean.
Solly.
Drayson does have a question. It says, Steve, what is the wildest project you have done to date?
Done to date. Probably the castle torches. I do have one that's going to blow it out of the park here coming up within the next couple weeks. I had a guy come to me and he bought my big candelier thing that I built. And he wants about 5.5 foot tall candelabra that sits on the floor. It's about 26 inches around. It's gonna have like 13 candles on it.
So like a
That's gonna be
standing
fun. I can't wait.
chandelier, a standelier.
Yeah, yeah. Something you'd see in the corner of a castle.
Cool,
Yeah, it's gonna
cool.
be awesome. I mean, the base of it's gonna be in square stock. It's gonna be huge
And that
and
right
heavy
there, pretty much.
and
Yeah, I'll bet the
pricey.
prices on that. And that kind of answers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it's a
kind of
grand.
answer. That's actually not that expensive for something like that. I would think that you. Yeah, that's actually a
No,
very fair price
I
for
get yelled
something
at
like
because
that.
I always,
You know,
yeah, I undercharge
but
everybody.
the quality is there. It's just getting your name out. That kind of answers Ethan's question,
Yeah,
which is Steve. What type of work are you primarily doing?
I like the decorative side of smithing. When I first started, I made a couple knives. I'm like, cool, made a knife. This is awesome. What else can I do? So as soon as I started twisting and bending and making decorative stuff, I was like, this is where I want to be. Uh, so I'm kind of leaning towards the medieval style now a little bit, but other than that, I still do all the small stuff, the J hooks, the stuff that sells at craft shows and all that. But yeah, I definitely like the decorative side of things. As for railings, I'll probably never get into railings. I don't know. I don't really have the urge to do it. I like lighting a lot and torches and stuff like that. Eventually, I'm going to start making stuff like that using electric. As I've had a couple people that have been asking me, "Oh, I'd love to have that candelier, but I want an electric one." Well, I guess I'm gonna have to start doing that.
Get with you and give you some pointers on running electrical on forged items. I haven't specifically done it with any of my pieces yet, but when I was working as an electrician in Chicago, we got a job for a church where we took down, I want to say 25. They're, they're probably as tall as I am and about as wide, chandeliers hanging in a church sanctuary, an historical sanctuary. They wanted to bring them down, and
Oh, nice.
they were like wrought iron and brass and glass. So each one of these things weighed like 300 pounds. And they wanted to bring them down and update the electrical for them with LED lighting. Um, and they were they were gorgeous. I've got old pictures from like an old clamshell camera phone of some of the projects. I mean, you can barely tell what
That's
they're doing,
awesome.
but and there's a technique of
Yeah, I'm the electrician, so
yeah,
that'd
there's
be
a
awesome.
technique of like brazing or soldering a mild steel tab on the back end of the of a flat piece of steel that goes around each of the thing, and like every so often clamping the wire, or using wire ties if it's round stock. I mean, if it's not pipe, obviously you can't hide the wires. Keith,
Right.
I wish I could, if any of my awesome moderators right now, my screens are full of information. If any of my moderators right now would like to pull up and link some of North Country Forge's, Instagram, Facebook, etc., yada yada. He may not be actively doing videos, but he does share all of his work on Instagram. As he does like finished projects occasionally, at least in the Voxer chat, he'll throw a picture up and say, "Here's what I'm working on, guys. How it's blah 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 blah." So, and Sully, you let me know about the echo. I had a feeling that was going to happen before the stream started. I was noticing on my mic right here that I was picking up Steve's audio as well. So I hope that fixed it. Someone wanted to make them the floor. Bill Corey, yeah. I will, but you won't be able to afford it. Let them decide that. Give them an estimate. Yamez, that half-inch square we got in Ohio, have you noticed it's got some carbon in it? I have not noticed it. That's the cool thing about scrap yards is you may think it's mild steel, but it may be like a um, stress-proof steel, which has a little bit more carbon in it. Uh, forged lamps. See, Steve here does stuff that I would love. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't have the skill yet, but like his lamps and torch holders and chandeliers, that's stuff that I really, really want to get into because of the electrical background.
You got the skill. You
Oh
got
yeah,
the skill.
you know, I just have trouble. I can see it in my head, but I can't draw. So everything I do is like free form at the anvil. Like I have an idea and I work with it. Whereas it's really
Actually, that's how I do
you
it.
know,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't draw, so, but I'll come up with a drawing. It looks like a 2-year-old drew, and then I just go from there with imagination. That's how I do everything.
Right. Um, Getting to the chat. Shamrock. Okay, I left a bunch of 5/8 square 5160 as well as the cable and 4140 shots. Okay. Black Collar Ironworks. Do you have to run electrical conduit in it? From an electrical standpoint, I can't quote you the code. Um, but for a lamp, it there are exceptions. To be UL listed, it has to be bonded and grounded. So you'll have to have a ground. Anywhere where the metal breaks apart from like to a plastic or glass piece, and then another piece of metal, that all has to be bonded. Which is really basically attach a ground wire at the top and run it through the chain. The wires can be run on the outside of the fixture. Um, However, it has to be grounded. So it doesn't necessarily absolutely need to be inside of a conduit. Although they do make like small, like 3/8 tube that you can, use a pipe bender and bend and put, conduit inside the thing if that fits in a design. Um, Thank you, Anson. That's North Country Forge's Instagram. Um, Let me see.
There's some good stuff on there. There's some bad stuff on
Hey,
there.
Crawdaddy.
We all have that.
Um, so I found out yesterday that punching 5/8 stainless hex bar is completely doable, not fun, but doable. 4, maybe 5 heats. Nice. Stainless hex bar. Whoo-hoo-hoo.
No, that wouldn't be fun at all.
Yeah, I imagine they're talking about the Blacksmiths family tree shipping the cable getting cable to Randy. Um, I'd imagine that cost would be kind of ridiculous to ship. Um, the lengths of cable needed to do that, because it's not like you can coil it up and put it in a flat rate box. It would have to ship like bars. Maybe a road trip is in order. um, Talking about working, stainless steel. Steve, have you ever thought about doing stainless steel fixtures?
Stainless steel fixtures?
Everybody's talking about stainless steel or cable. What is
I don't know.
going on?
I hate stainless steel.
I've only worked with it a couple times. I did a dragon. out of a bar of stainless that I have, and I did actually the fish hook that I did for my beach video was stainless. And let me tell you what, forging stainless steel while being attacked by biting flies standing in the hot sand, standing in full bright sunlight, not a cloud in the sky, and trying to forge stainless steel on a Harbor Freight anvil in the sand was dang near impossible. And it, you know, that video is proof.
I would have been a pile of dust by then.
You know, at North Country Forge, by doing a lot of electric welds and grinding in your work, that black magic patina would be good stuff to blend it all in if you want to stay away from paint.
Right. I never paint anything. I hate ironwork that has paint on it. I hate it. I never paint anything. Even if it's something outside, I just do my finish on it and I'll put clear coat on it. Other than that, I like the natural look of the steel with the finish on it.
And
never. Oh God.
And that's what
just
Bill,
makes me cringe.
Bill sent me. I haven't played with it yet. Bill sent me some black magic. It's from Sculpt Nouveau, and he sent me some black magic. It's a patina oils and patina finishing stuff, and I'll probably get with you at some point on this, Steve. But it and
can't hear you too good, Yams. Did your mic fall off?
Yeah, my mic did fall off. Okay, so this mic is being used for a Skype call. Good morning, Scott. Yeah, Heretic Blacksmith, good morning. There's a product guide that Bill Corey sent, and it's got like all sorts of like patina things. I think a lot of people, you know, you and Hans especially, would find very useful, you know, for getting different finishes, you know, be it black, be it, you know, if you know, bronze, whatever, you know, finishes to the different materials. And that's kind of, you know, it's like you do that and then you clear coat it so that it's not painted. It's the natural color of the steel being patinaed, you know, as if it was in a different element, like copper being oxidized. You know, you can get that, you know, nice, beautiful, oxidized green copper look. You know, which brings me to a question I have. You know, it's like, I know I've done it surprisingly not as much as I should, being an electrician with access to copper wiring. Have you ever thought of adding copper or brass accents to your work?
Yeah, I just a couple weeks ago I finished up a fireplace set, and I actually had I got like 1,000-foot roller Rolex, so I took some off of it, pulled the ground wire out, and just wrapped it around, and it really set it off.
Yeah, if you can keep it shiny, that juxtaposition of shiny copper to the black steel is amazing.
Oh, absolutely. There should be some pictures on Instagram and stuff for that one. That was the first one I ever did, and I loved it. It came out great. Customer was happy, so that's all that matters right there. Customer's
Speaking
happy.
of electrical and chandeliers, Ethan Phillips would think hot collaring the 3/8 tube to the chandelier would be an effective solution. Yeah, it would. It all goes into the design phase too, because one code electrically with conduit is you cannot have more than 360 degrees of bends in a conduit between pull points. So it'd be really hard to like do swirls and loops with conduit and keep within code. They're talking logistics for the Blacksmiths family tree project. I use beeswax and boiled linseed oil, 50-50, Scott Seward. Black and steel encased colors.
Yeah, let me grab my stuff that I use. Hold on just a second.
Anybody know how to patina copper green? Hey Neil, not typing much?
Yeah, this is, I get it at Lowe's, Howard's Feed
Right.
and Wax. Uh, it's just a wood polish and conditioner, but it's beeswax and orange oil. I love the finish this thing that it leaves. That's all I use. I used to use the Johnson's Space Wax and all that,
Hey,
but
Monica.
too much of a
Yeah,
waxy residue.
I do, the different finishes like beeswax and linseed oil and, all of that stuff. I really don't like a waxy finish. And I do know, I believe it was, I want to say it was Alex over at Valhalla, possibly Speargrass. I can't quite remember. I know it was an Aussie, uh, who they shared a technique for finishing with BLO that leaves a nice matte solid finish, and it removes any of the shine that you would normally get with just one coating. And it's something like you coat it and then you heat it back up, and then you coat it again at a lower temperature, and you heat it back up again. It's a process, and it leaves like a sheer, like a nice matte finish. Hey, Monica. And Mr. Donut. All right.
Well, the donut crew's in the house.
That was Alex Wayne. Yes, I knew it was one of them. Some of my Damascus work goes into the rust bluing cabinet here that I use for gun work. See, I haven't gotten so much into patinas to know that much about them. Heck, I barely get to the point where I finish projects.
See you,
Adios,
Hans.
Hans is leaving? Later, man.
Hans is leaving.
No.
He doesn't like
He
us.
loves us. Bill Corey. John Bennett told me once he has watched a lot of customers walk up, grab a piece with beeswax on it, and put it back down because of the sticky feel. And that's exactly what I don't like about it. It feels dirty.
Yes.
Not only does it feel dirty, but it feels like it will pick up dirt.
Yeah. I've actually had my Etsy, my hairpins on there. I've had people to see that I have beeswax listed on it because the finish I use has the beeswax, and they've specifically asked for something else. So I use like olive oil or something, and I think a lot of it is, vegan people, and hey, if you're allergic to bees, so they don't want to take a chance.
I can understand that. Try baking the excess or buffing the beeswax. See, I've tried buffing the beeswax. It just leaves a smear. Maybe I'm just not doing it. Yeah, I've got beard envy. I'm at my terminal length here. The
I might have reached mine. I'm not sure.
Exactly, Sully. Exactly. It's anything sticky will pick up dirt. Actually, interesting non-blacksmithing related thing that I learned when cleaning carpets in Memphis. When you're cleaning carpets, or when you're cleaning a surface with soap, if you don't get all that soap out of there, it will get dirty like that and hold the dirt, making it harder to clean later. Is the beeswax different from paste wax? The paste wax, I believe, like Johnson's paste wax, and I don't have a can handy, but I believe that its main wax ingredient is canuba wax, but I'm not, either that or paraffin. I'm not positive, but there's a lot of, I like the finish of Johnson's paste wax because it doesn't necessarily leave that sticky residue. It's got that drying agents. Beat it up, wipe off, and use a wire brush. Yeah, yeah. I know that there's ways to.
I do
Yeah.
that. I do that on my fire pokers and stuff like that. The big pieces, I'll wire brush it right down and then do my finish on it. Ooh, gets all that mill scale off and all the forge scale looks awesome.
Yeah. Steve, you're doing a great job, and it's really good to see you co-host Sunday meeting with Yamez. Now, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Turn to the fire poker.
He's got an assistant that can grab him things.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see. It's wire brushed, and then that's that Howard's paste wax that I use on it. A little bit of heat, just shines it right up.
That's what he was probably asking about. What Keith, does that Howard's paste wax have beeswax in it?
Or the Howard's feeding waxes, yeah, the stuff I use. But I don't. Oh, yeah. You see that yellow can back there, Brad? It says paste wax on it. See if you can reach that without burning yourself. I don't know if you can or not. Probably not. You might be able to reach it on the other side of the forge.
I'm trying to find it for you here, Black Collar.
I got a. There we go. There's some Johnsons.
I'm gonna have to really read this. This is less of a product, guide and more of a book on how patinas work. It's got instructions on how to do everything. Huge thank you to Bill Corey for sending me this. Yeah, it's Black Magic metal finish. Metal can, something or another. All right, Anson.
I'd be interested in trying some of that just to see.
Yeah, I know. Hans said that he uses the Sculpt Nouveau religiously, and he's done some amazing things with patinas.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Adios, Alex. Yeah, Johnsons are blow unless it's food contact.
The Johnson, it's more combustible than stuff I use.
I have been leaving the finished choice up to the customer. Seems everyone has a different taste. Yeah, it's hard to please everybody,
True.
But when you're like Steve here's does production. He puts stuff up on the shelves and people come in and either buy it or don't. When you're doing it that way, it's almost you'd have to make like 5 of each thing with different patinas, with different finishes, and at that point, it's like buy this or don't, I suppose. I mean, for an order, sure, right? For an order, they can, easily pick a patina.
Right, yeah, I give them a couple different options sometimes. Depends what they're looking for. I mean, I had one lady ask for paint. I said, yeah, but why would you cover up the, the beautiful natural metal? Well, that's a good point. And, she took it. But most of the time, I don't really have anybody that questions it. They see it, they love it, and they take it. Good
morning, Estelle. How you doing? Yeah. Also, good morning, Chaz. And Holler. I saw you there. I didn't get a chance to say hi. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's, with covering metal with paint, certain projects, certain things, kind of paint would bring a completely new dimension to the project. Say, take the pumpkins, for example, painting them to look like pumpkins, something like with the Moabo skulls that I do, painting them to make them look like sugar skulls would be neat. But it's like you see in architecture, or you watch like HGTV and you see like these beautiful stone walls or beautiful wood walls that are painted. It's like there's so much beauty in the natural finish, you know. Holler. I've tried the beeswax, but every time I stick hot metal in the hives, I get stung. Fast orange cleaner, neat.
Not that one. The one that says there's bag in there. Box of
And here's a question on the subject of, you know what, Steve, real quick, I'm going to turn you into a moderator so that you can share your links as well.
All right. Okay.
It brings up to,
I feel privileged.
How is it, like, who was it? Wayne Heights, I found the same thing, stock items you have to make half a dozen all different. How does it work for this, where if you have a whole bunch of items on shelf with the one finish, how many times do you see a customer go, I love this item, but I really don't like it in black. Is there any way that you can blah, blah, blah? And, say, sure, and make sale that way. Or do you more see people go, I don't like this in black, I'm not buying it?
Actually, I really haven't run into that. Most time, one time I had somebody say, I can't remember exactly what they said, but the way I had it on there, they said something about they didn't like. Oh God, I can't remember how they actually said it now. But then I gave them another option, and they're like, oh, all right. And so it turned into a special order from there. No, that's what it was. The guy, it was just a J-hook he was looking for, and I go, well, I said, I got some more over here. So I grabbed ones that weren't finished yet, and he loved them. And I was like, I can clean it up and throw the finish on it and all that. And he says, nope. He says, this is how I want it, no finish on it. All right. So then I went over, grabbed the rest of them, and I said, here. I said, how many do you want? And he took like 10, 15 of them, and with no finish on them. I said, they're going to rust. I said, there's no way around it. There's no finish. And he's like, nope, that's fine.
Right.
So that's about the only time I've ever run into that.
Right. So which kind of brings a good segue into, bringing up again that you have a brick and mortar location that works as an active smithy and storefront. Tell us about that. Tell us about what brought that about.
Yeah, I see Ethan's question there. Yeah, I mean, I do have, brick and mortar shop with a little store, but I also have Etsy store, a lot of sales through people seeing it on Facebook, Instagram, and then I have a website that I started up. I haven't done a whole lot on it. It's just basically a basic setup, just northcountryforge.com. I went and bought the domain for it and stuff. I haven't really seen, I think I've had one sale on there since I started it up, so it's just one of those things. People visit it all the time. I constantly get notifications, people visiting the website. Just nobody's buying anything off of that, but it's it almost seems like I'm reaching a different crowd, right. I guess you could say. I mean, you do these shows and stuff. Like I do farmers markets, I do craft shows, and it's funny because I can make a lot of sales right out of my shop here. And we had a craft show this weekend right in front of my shop, and I hardly sold anything. But then if I go, say, one farmer's market I was doing up in Old Forge, New York, up in the Adirondack Mountains, and I also did another one up in Blue Mountain Lake. There was a weekend show, and I mean, that one alone I did over $1,500. But then I get a local show right here and in front of my shop that I sell a lot out of, and I didn't make hardly anything at the craft show. It's weird. It's just a
Yeah,
different crowd.
It's who goes where. Location, location, location. Like
Yeah,
say
it really
hello,
is.
the Canadian dust maker, the Canadian dust maker. A name so great you got to say it twice. Any experience or preference between boiled linseed oil versus polymerized linseed oil, non-toxic fumes, finish, etc. I personally have only used boiled linseed oil. I go with let's shelf, grab, snatch, set, dump, 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 dump.
Yeah. I notice the stuff that you can't stand the smell of. It's the stuff I don't use. It just if it flames up a lot, it's usually got some sort of petroleum in it or something, and
Right.
I try and stay away from it.
Right. Rust is like candy apple to some folks. Absolutely, James. I love
Oh
the
yeah.
rust finish. I mean, everybody goes, "Oh, your anvil's rusty." Yeah, it is. Your tongs are rusty. Yeah, they are. you know, ain't nothing.
Everything's rusty on the anvil
Rust
except for the
happens. I
top.
mean, nothing you can't fix, on a pair of tongs by putting them in the fire and heating them up and then going quonk, 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 quonk. um, quonk,
How'd
quonk,
that go?
quonk, quonk. Adios, Randy. Have a great day.
See you, Randy.
One nice decorative finish is gun bluing, followed by dark Old English furniture polish. Yes.
I haven't messed with the
Yeah,
bluing yet.
I haven't either. I hear gun bluing and gun blue as a finish, and it's like there's a gun shop by me. I can go see if they have any. Dog bone. Here's a good point. You become an expert and exotic when you're 50 miles from home. Man, if that's the case, welcome back, Hansy Pants. Butcher block oil is great for food contact items. That's exactly what I started with, and
Yep.
I love it.
That I use olive oil a lot. It's got a really high flash point.
That's what Scott said. And as a cook, I did cooking for a while too. Yeah, olive oil is excellent because it's because of its flash point. You can dang near bring it up to rolling boil and it still won't flash.
Yeah, it's like I want to say 450 degrees flash point on it, somewhere around there. It's quite high.
Yeah. Morning, Jim. How you been, brother? What about a blacking versus a bluing? What would you use? Steve, do you know? I don't know.
I really don't know. I've never messed with bluing, so I'd like to try it sometime just to see.
I kind of want to try it to see what the hype is, Um, Hans uses.
The closest I get to, if I want any different color in it, I run the torch until I get a tempering color to it, and then cool it off.
Yeah, and then you enamel that so that doesn't fade. Or not enamel.
Yeah,
enamel is
absolutely.
Clear coat. Yeah.
Clear coated or whatever.
I'm surprised I haven't tried coconut oil yet.
At one point I was seasoning like my spatulas and stuff. I would season those with coconut oil. It smokes a lot.
I've used cold blue, but I'm talking black. Yeah, I mean, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of finish options out there. I mean, that could be, there could be a series and a show that goes on for years just talking about different finishing options and how to use them, and the comparisons, and because you could use the same finishing option with a different technique and get a different result. Steve, I know it's a whole different climate, but I BLO my anvil a couple of times to seal it from the rust. Perhaps a summer idea if you're interested.
You know, to be honest, the only time I ever get rust on it is if I'm at a craft show and it gets damp, or if I get a little bit of moisture on it. That's the only time. My shop, I come in the morning, especially right now. This morning was about 30 degrees or so, and I mean, there's not a speck of rust on the face of the
Right.
anvil. The shop
Well,
stays pretty dry.
I know my
So.
shop is it's. I live in a humid area, and you know, rust just happens by me. If I were to be of the mindset to
Right.
worry about, you know, shiny, clean everything and rust free, it would be. I would have to take a day out every single week, a full day to de-rust everything in my shop, and I just don't have the time. If it's something that I really need, like my, you know, fullers and punches that I do need rust free, you know, before I go to use them, I'll knock the rust off and then go to use them, you know. But for the most part, rust happens. It doesn't get in my way. It's just an aesthetic to me, and I personally like the look of rust, you know. Black Collar Iron Works. This awesome patina project. This sounds like it would make the forged peacock feather a Christmas gift idea. I have much easier. I was thinking the best way to isolate the ox. Yeah, the different products. Proofreading text to speech. There you go. Traps for used on traps for dyeing them. Yeah. Coffee grounds and olive oil. Neat.
Black onyx coat, that'd be pretty neat to mess with.
You know, I think in my shop, if I haven't, I've got crushed walnut shells as well, or walnut husk, something.
That's hot.
Somebody say, "There's Speargrass. Good morning, Adam. How you doing, brother?" Kyle Royer does a black onyx.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. You know, I know Scott, who I'm actually, right after the stream, I'm tossing some stuff in my truck and heading up to Scott's house, or Scott's shop. I'm going to be working on a bunch of hammers. I've got a hammer sale thing coming up that I really, you know, it's more of a fundraising sale for two purposes: get a dumpster for my backyard and get my truck. I've got a loose tie rod, but you know, so I'm going to go up there after the show and try and knock out these hammers with him real quick. You know, you know, you're talking about, you know, sales at fairs and stuff. He has been trying to get me, and rightfully so, and I feel like a total tool for not doing it yet. It's just my timing is, I need to set aside time to go to some of these, you know, it's like he'll set up a table like you're talking about, Steve, and you know, he'll have a day where he'll, you know, completely sell out of everything and pick up commission piece, you know, while he's there. And it's like,
I've had that happen quite a few times.
Like, I need to, and I'm sure it's, I hate to sound presumptuous here, but I'm sure it's easier if you basically, you know, like, maybe I'm making excuses. You know, if that's what you're doing is spending all day making smalls for the fairs, I'm sure that once I get into the fair circuit, I'll be able to knock out smalls all day long, every day, you know, to put on the table.
The small stuff sells, man. I mean, especially at your craft shows.
Good morning, Curtis Lee. How you doing, man? That's all right. That's all right, Speargrass. Been away, but you've been sick. flat stick. Yeah. You know, if you're flat stick, just do what you gotta do to keep yourself propped up. My anvil sits outside year round, covered it for a bit. Yep. Fairs are still a thing with the new normal, right? Well, I do know that Elizabeth City has a, well,
Very
from
true.
what I have seen, and anybody who does the fair circuit can probably chime in here. Like Elizabeth City has like 3 farmers markets that they do all the time, you know, that you can get a booth at. And them being farmers markets selling food that's considered essential. So, as opposed to being a flea market, which is just a gathering, I guess, you know, um, farmers markets are the way to go because they're considered essential. Just do it.
We've been lucky up here in how bad New York is locked down that the farmers markets opened up for crafters. Flea markets, we've been able to do those. But as for the big stuff, they've all been canceled because of this. But hopefully next year. I mean, just me losing Ren Fair, you know, I lost 10,
Right.
20 grand right there.
Right.
Easy.
Well, you know, and I know you've told me this before, and Scott tells me it all the time, and Keith's actually bringing up the question too. Um, Smalls are big money. You know, things like hooks, bottle openers, keychains,
Absolutely.
utensils, smalls, little knickknacks that people can, you know, pick up, play with, and impulse buy.
Yeah. My that one show I did up in Blue Mountain, that was mostly hooks. Oh my God, everybody wanted hooks. I was making hooks there just to put back on the table, and I probably sold, you know, $200-300 worth of hooks on their own. You know, and that's at $5-10.
Yeah.
Bigger ones 20. You know, the small stuff is very profitable.
Yeah, like I know Roy Adams talks all the time about, you know, how he kind of got his, I don't want to say start, but, you know, when he was starting out, his Etsy store was tiny hooks. He said what they were, you know, but like basically little hooks where it's like $5 for a 10-pack, you know, and just he'd flood his Etsy market with, you know, tiny smalls in packs, you know, nails, you know, a 10-pack of forged blacksmith nails for you know, like $8 or whatever, you know, price point he was doing. And he says he got to the point where he had to shut that down because he had time for nothing else because all he's doing is, you know, making all these smalls, you know.
Right? I mean, just for the price of steel, I mean, these little items are very profitable. I mean, my little J hook is only a couple inches tall on a 1/4 inch round bar. I get a 20-foot stick, a 1/4 inch round bar for $3-4, and I sell them for $3 a piece. So, you know, it's big time profit on it.
The horseshoe nail hooks. I know Scott showed me his setup. He could do his horseshoe nails in his sleep. He's got this little awesome pair of pliers that I'm gonna steal from him one day. That like he grips it in one thing, and then it's got like the radius already on it. It's not like a needle nose pliers. It's like a step set of pliers, you know. So it's like a pair of needle nose, but with different flat radiuses on it, you know. And it's so cool. Like, you know, grip the very tip, twist it, move it up a bit to a larger radius, and twist it back, and he's got the hook done. Bang, zoom. I've been told not to sell at flea markets, F-book marketplace, and such venues because it dumbs down your work and your price. Real quick on that, you know, it's like we're talking about smalls or big money. That's the stuff that you keep the cash flow, you keep the constant cash flow in while you're working on a larger commission, you know. It's a thing that you can take a break from working on like an intricate piece, and then once that intricate piece is done, you put that into the mix, And it may take a while for it to sell, but when it does, that's a spike in your cash flow. And the way I see it, business perspective, if you occasionally put that larger item in there, your cash flow will increase as people see your skills, you know. And then you can, as you get gooder and more efficient at making the larger, more intricate pieces, you can introduce them into your portfolio, your table, so to speak, at more better intervals.
Yeah. See, I always make sure I have some big pieces at
Just in
shows and
case
stuff
somebody
like
comes
that,
by.
so people
Yeah,
can see a
just in
little bit of
case somebody comes
everything.
by and says, I'm looking for a set of andirons. I'm looking for a, you know, Gothic castle reproduction uh, standing lamp, you know. Like, that would look great in my dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, well, you remember those castle
Yeah.
torches I made? The the one show I was at, I was selling tons of hooks. Second day, about the end of the day, some guy come up and he bought both those torches off me. And it takes that one person. I mean, so I don't really know if it dumbs down your work, but
Okay.
I don't. It depends the area you're in too.
Now,
I mean, people love them
I
little
just saw
hooks.
a couple of comments here from Corey, which I'd like to kind of, it reads, see, that's what I've been thinking of, is making stuff to sell at the annual county fair, gun and knife shows, and various craft fairs the county fairground holds every year. But I've heard people say that you'll never make a living doing that. Now, a lot of it, yeah, go ahead, because this is your experience, this is your wheelhouse.
Uh, I can't agree completely because, like, what pushed me into full time, I lost my job to COVID. I was let go from my job. The company let 90% of its employees go. And it was a good job. I was welding, like 18 something an hour. So I immediately went full time and was really hammering on the craft shows that we've been allowed to have, the farmers markets. And per month, I've done better than I was at my old job for like the last 3 months. This month's a little bit slower because the shows are pretty much all done. But other than that, I don't know. I think I'm doing quite well for, doing craft shows and stuff. So it's all in your region too. I mean, some places it's not going to go as good.
I get, like, I live in an area where everybody works with wood. I mean, you drive down the street, you'll see signs, wood carver, wood carver, wood carver, wood carver. Some famous wood carvers live here. Hedgehog Woodworks, who does only chainsaw wood carving, and he sells stuff. He just recently did the love sign, the LOVE sign for Virginia, that they commissioned for him to do, to put inside one of their public buildings, or put on display at one of their public buildings, or something like that. So, yeah. Medieval tiki torch holders have gone crazy for me this year. Oh yeah, absolutely. I can get behind anything tiki related. But it's like I say, everything over here is wood. I have not, and Scott's been getting on my butt about trying to bust into some of these local to me markets, as to I haven't really seen yet if metalworking will be profitable in my immediate area, or do I have to travel outside of my local to sell,
Right. You can't rely just on the shows. You gotta, get your stuff on all the social media platforms.
Right. Like right now, I mainly sell hammers to blacksmiths, and I've told an old friend of mine that while that is a marketable sales, sales model, unless you're one of the big names in hammer making, it's not a permanent solution, you know. You've got to be able to do other things and branch out. My opinion is worthless because I'm not a professional.
Now, come on,
Stop it,
Hans.
Hans. You made an award-winning piece.
Oh, Hans.
You made an award-winning piece.
Right?
That's the price point is you've got the right. Don't come down on the price for that. And once that sells, boom. And that's kind of what we're talking about too. Is have those, but also do smalls to keep that steady flow, so that when it comes along and sells, you've got a spike, but you still have that steady flow. I mean,
I'm super jealous.
I wish I had the ability.
I'm super jealous of Hans's talent.
I just saw a $5 super chat from James Jones at Black Hand Forge in Butte, Montana. Good morning. How you doing, brother? Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, Hans is very, very, legendary and humble.
Super talented.
Again, if you don't know who Hans is, Charming Hollow Forge, I highly suggest you look him up. He does do videos occasionally here on YouTube. He's currently in his push to 1,000, so that he can get back to doing live streams. Yet he really shines on Instagram. Yeah, he's got some amazing talent.
Corey, that's what you gotta do. Get out there, get into these shows, and that's all it takes. I mean, I come into this nervous. I mean, I was, doing pretty good while I was working my normal job selling, and then now that I'm full time, it just blows my mind that I am doing better than I was at a normal job. It's awesome. I never would have thought.
Hi, Stell.
Maybe it's just my area. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, people are filtering out. Sunday is, we'll do like now it's time for our final thoughts. Springer. Do you have any words of wisdom to those getting started here, and to those who may have already started?
Don't quit. Learn as much as you can while you can. You're always going to be learning, but never quit. Watch tons of videos. Ask questions. There's no stupid question. You got a more experienced smith that's nearby you, or even if he's a few hours away, get a hold of him. Go work out with him. You're always going to learn something.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have that luxury up here. There's not a whole lot of smiths in my area.
I'm finding that there's more and more than I thought there were. But, being rural, it's still like an hour to 2 hour drive to them.
I'm finding more up here now that my name's getting out, but I have more experience usually than a lot of them, so I like to help them out. They want to come up and work. Absolutely. If I can teach you something, it makes me happy.
If you're in my area, I have zero problem at all. Come out, pitch a tent in front of my truck, forge for the weekend with me. Hey, Billy, caught us right at the end here, brother. But anyway, with that, guys, let's all give this bearded goofball here a big round of applause and thank him for showing us that people with beards are awesome.
Thank you, thank you. I'll be here all week.
And I do believe that he's got a case of frostbite to attend to. You know, look at his face and everything.
Yeah, it's shriveled right up, but it's cold.
I wanted to say hi.
But we got Indian summer coming up. It's gonna be in the 60s next week.
Hi, Billy. I do miss you. All right, guys. It is just past 11 o'clock, and I have got to, well, go toss some stuff in my truck and get on up the road. Steve, I wish you luck. I love watching your journey. You know, I love the fact that, you know what, you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it. You know, so
Thank you, brother.
inspiration to everybody. I will get with you guys all later, and if anybody here would like to, be on the show for whether, be it an interview or just a chit chat or share stuff or just to kind of hang out, in the link to the Sunday morning gatherings, I do have my Skype link. Just add me on Skype and let me know when you're available. Anyway,
now keep it PG, but 1, 2, 3, fuss.
But you guys all have a wonderful Sunday. Get out to the shop and beat some steel. Make something awesome. So, hearts and health, everybody. Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely.
You're bearded.
Smash some freaking metal.
But, yep.
I'll be sure to rub it all over you when I see you next.
Fuss rocks. We'll go into where fuss comes from later.
Yes, yeah, we never did get into that.
real quick, I'll just say, fuss stands for F-U Steve, and that's from me actually, and I feel kind of bad that I did that, but not really. We have in my family group back in Chicago, we've got our cousin Steve, and we always tease him mercilessly. Shut up, Steve. Shut up, Steve. Shut up, Steve. You, Steve. And it's also.
I believe that happened at the first trip to Hans's.
One of the back in the day, it's like one of the hated memes of the internet. You got the Karens and all this stuff and like that, and it's like Steve was like there's so many memes and jokes about screw you, Steve. Shut up, Steve. It's so. Once we got a Steve in a group, I'm like, yes. Before we do go, I gotta say thank you very, very, very much, Black Collar Ironworks. I got a $50 super chat. He is fighting his text-to-speech, so he can't.
Nice.
Thank you, brother. You guys are all awesome. Appreciate the heck out of you guys. Ben Toombs just rolled in, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now that Ben's here.
High five.
High five right here. Your other side. Your other side. Yeah.
My other side? That
High
side?
five.
That side. One of the sides.
All right. All right, guys. Hearts and health, everybody. I'm going to end the stream and
later,
get
y'all.
things ready. I'll catch you all later. Love you guys. Bye. And